Great day to be out in the field today with Dave Libby, who's in charge of the DC part of the construction. And we're going to take a look at the crews who are going to be installing additional poles in the existing part of the corridor. I'm Thorn. This show allows me to talk with Mainers working on the most important clean energy project to ever come to our state. We discuss how this project is providing jobs and other benefits today while creating clean energy for a better tomorrow. So Dave, maybe talk a little bit about where we're headed and what we're going to see when we get there.
Yeah, so we've remobilized the contractor, Chimbro Irby, and they're currently working in Bald Mountain Township. The location is roughly structures 454 to 458. One of the structures they are essentially mobilizing to, another structure they're drilling and about to set base, and then two more structures they're about to set the poles. So going to that location today, we should see really a little of everything. The contractor is on pace to install around 4 to 5 poles a week per crew. They are essentially doing that right now. We will be mobilizing a second contractor, or a second crew, I should say, in the near future, and our rate will be closer to 8 to 10 poles a week, and we'll continue that throughout the rest of the project.
This phase of the project and the work that this crews are doing is really now the way we actually envision building the project, that ability to move on a linear basis and go forward.
That's correct. With the one crew, we are starting in Bald Mountain. We're going to continue into Moscow, Concord Township, and really continue all the way to Lewiston in a linear fashion, like you just said. When we mobilize the second crew, that crew will essentially start north of Caratunk and continue towards the border.
You got all kinds of Mainers up here on this Aldridge field.
It was something that we committed to early on in the project, and hopefully with this project and getting some young kids in, they're finding another career that then can kind of build some future for themselves.
Yeah, because we know Maine needs them. Any opportunity we can give, especially the younger kids.
This is still the stretch that I think is really interesting because people can really kind of see the structures that are already placed. We can see the ones that are getting started. And here I'm assuming we're drilling for the next one.
That's correct, yeah. We're drilling. We're at 17 feet now. We need to get down to 19 feet, so we'll be there before end of day.
Yeah. And I think we saw on up there, you can actually see that the pole's different near the bottom than it is in the upper part. Is that just to protect it from the ground, or?
It is. It's to protect from the water that's in the ground. It's an additional coating in addition to the weathering that we do to the steel to prevent deterioration because of groundwater.
So they're gonna get down to 19 feet. Then what happens? Does this structure get moved, or is that the one that also helps out with another aspect of it?
Nope. That'll continue down the corridor, drill the next hole, and then the next one after that, linearly. I mean, all the way to Lewiston. To tell you the truth.
Just talking with these people, it's amazing. I think every single person I've talked to is a Mainer, so it's kind of neat.
Yeah, no, and it's a good selection of Mainers from around the state, not in any one location, and it's good to see on this project especially, and a lot of them have worked out of state for a number of years, so it's good to have them back in the state and being with family and friends at night versus staying in a hotel room in another state.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating because each one of them have their own story, how they got into the industry and how they love their job, but then they have to make those sacrifices and moving out of state in order to get work. And again, like you said, excited to be back in town in order to get work on a project like this. So.
We're with Chimbro Irby right now. They're getting ready to set this pole, and we're working our way south at the moment. So we're gonna, once we get through this little stretch, we're gonna jump into Moscow. So we have a good amount of little area to keep them busy, keep them working forward as we work through the permitting process, etc. So these would be the two conductor arms, and then the two shield wire arms down there. Yep.
Yeah, and we can actually see that on the pole that's in the distance here. So the conductor's here and the shield's there. And the interesting thing about the shield, of course, that's also where we're going to put the fiber on.
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of times with transmission lines, you have the static wire. So that static wire is really there to protect the conductor. And with today's technology, we use the fiber optic cable, and it's called OPGW. So the OPGW still acts as shielding for the conductor, but it can still send communications. To your point, that's what's going to be used for the broadband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great day in Bald Mountain today to get out there on the right-of-way and to interact with all the crews, both the crews that are getting prepped and doing all the work ready for the poles to go up, and the crews that are actually putting the poles up, and all the great progress that's being made. We saw a great stretch of the poles that really give a good sense of what this project actually is going to look like.